Yo, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. Today we're going to look at even more new decks from Black Bolt and White Flare that are winning in Japan right now. In the last video we looked at the Japan Championship results, but we didn't really get the best sample size as to what else from this new set is doing great. I mean, we saw a bit of Genesect EX and Jealent and Gardevoir, but we didn't really get to get like a big sample size and get to look at all the new cards because realistically, those are only two new cards that made an impact at the Japan Championship. So I thought I would go on Book here and see what other new archetypes are doing good right now and winning in Japan. There's still a lot of new stuff to come out of this new set. Not a lot of new EX cards. Like, for instance, we got Moridon with Zekrom. Moridon gets a big buff. I want to see if anyone else has cooked up any other cool Jellicent ideas that aren't Gardevoir. Reshiram EX, another one I wanted to see. Superior we got. I want to see what people have cooked up with Meoetta. And then you got a Hydroen. Now, it might be the one from Searching Sparks, but there is a brand new Hydroen EX. I'm wondering if maybe anyone's pairing the two Hydrogens together here. And then, of course, we'll read off what the proxies do if you don't know what the cards do here on Justin Basil's website. But I'm excited to take a look at these cards here and see what decks are doing good and what people have cooked up for the other new archetypes, because there's a lot of old archetypes that do get better with this set. That'll probably be its own video. That might be my next video where we look at old decks and how they get upgraded with Black Bolt and White Flare. That seems like the main theme of this set, is making older archetypes stronger. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it here. Also, we're getting close to 24K subs, so if you want to help me reach that goal, subscribe down below. So yeah, Zekrom is going to be the main one here, the first one. Now, I want to say this, Moridon looks like it's going to maybe come back in the meta. So Moridon does gain the new Zekrom EX and Electric. If you don't know what Electric does, it's got that Dynamotor ability where you can attach a basic lightning from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. It's like the Flaffy we just had in the format is now back with this Electric. This card is really, really good for Moridon. Moridon hasn't really... I mean, okay, we've seen Joltik Box, which I guess can be classified as a Moridon deck, but it doesn't play generators or anything like that. We haven't seen like a pure Moridon deck in a while. It's mostly just been Joltik Box. And then we got the new Zekrom EX here with the attack Voltage Burst that does 130, and then if does 50 more damage for each prize your opponent's taken, then the Zekrom takes 30 damage. The thing with Zekrom's attack is that it's like Charizard's Burning Darkness. So it actually gives you a really good late game attacker in Moridon. So we can see a Moridon Electric archetype here using the Electric Generator. This is like the classic Moridon Generator Electric deck that we had. Moridon still gets to keep Iron Hands EX in the meta, which is pretty good for the deck. Still having access to Iron Hands is good. Then you still have the Zekrom, which is your nice late game attacker. Moridon doesn't have a good late game hitter anymore. Or it used to not, because it had Raichu V and then Raichu rotated, but now it doesn't. But now we have Zekrom EX, which is arguably better than Raichu because you can use it multiple times over and over again, since it's basically just a basic Charizard EX. We see another Moridon here. You can see the Moridon decks are using a 1/1 line of Magneton with the Electric. I don't know how necessary that will be, because, I mean, you already have the Electric. This one does play Magneton and no Electric. But it does have that Zekrom. Then we got another one here with the Electric and the Magneton split. Again, I'm not convinced on playing the two together, because I feel like if you play the 4 generators, you have the 2/2 line of Electric, you should have a decent amount of energy acceleration in the deck already. So I'm not sure you need the Magneton, but I guess the Magneton could be good. The one thing to note, too, there is that one prize Zero Aura you can see in the deck here, which isn't on here, but basically it just discards all energy from a Snipe Sling for 210 damage. It's a pretty good snipe attacker. Gives you actually a good one-prize hitter in the Moridon deck. This build here has Pikachu EX, but doesn't play any energy for it. Just mainly there to activate Area 0 under depth, which makes sense, and you can fill up your bench even more. You can have the Eels in play alongside your support mons like Fez, Mew, Squawk, and stuff. Makes sense, makes sense. Another thing to note, too, Moridon does get Air Balloon, which is actually pretty good for the deck. Moridon usually plays Latias, but if you're going to play with Electric, which, you know, Electric happens to have a 2 retreat cost, if you can see there, so Electric gets stuck in the active fairly easily by Counter Catcher. So having Air Balloon is actually really good for Moridon. So now the Electric is not really much of a liability when you can retreat it as freely with Air Balloon, because, like, before, with the Flaffy stuff, a lot of the time when you're playing Moridon Flaffy, you would have to preemptively attach to your Flaffy so that you can't get trapped in the active spot. But now that Air Balloon's back in the format, you can just put Air Balloon on your Electric, call it a day. It's kind of broken. Yeah, Air Balloon's just so good. It's one of the best cards we have in a while. Another Moridon deck here. Playing Bear, I like the idea of Bear too, I guess, in the deck. More Magneton stuff. There's a lot of Moridon here. Probably not going to go through all of it. It's going to see any other, like, cool other lightning attackers people are playing. There is the Tapu Koko EX here, which can paralyze the opponent. It's not a terrible idea. It's not really as much Switch, I feel like, right now. Air Balloon, actually, the thing is, if people are going to cut Switch from the deck for Air Balloon, it's actually better for a paralyzed attacker like Tapu Koko EX. You actually get more value out of Coco because a lot of people might be cutting switches for air balloons now, which is actually a big deal because air balloon doesn't get you out of paralysis like switch does. It's kind of cool, actually. More Moridon stuff here with the electric. Come on. Any other cool attackers? We got a Meoetta in this one. Interesting. The Meoetta's there for TM Evo, I guess, to get the electric out early. That's an interesting idea. We'll look at the Meoetta deck soon, obviously. I do have that pulled up like I showed you all. Let's see here. This one's got the one prize Thunderous that does 140 damage, but I think it does 90 to itself. This is another one prize attacker you can get access to. This one still plays Joltik. So, yeah, I mean, you can definitely get away with like a hybrid Joltik electric deck. Because you can use Joltik early on over Electric Generator, but this one also plays Generator. It's got the whole squad. It's got Jenny's, Joltik, and Electric, so all the Lightning Energy Acceleration in one deck, too. It does play some Grass Energy, but it plays no Metal. I feel like if you're going to play the Grass at that point, you might as well add a Metal Energy so you can at least use your Pikachu EX. I don't hate the idea of playing Joltik with the Electric, too. And, you know, it checks out. You don't probably have to play Generator then. I feel like the Generators are a little bit more redundant. But, yeah, the idea of playing Electric with Joltik actually seems good. That might be better than just playing, like, a pure Generator build, in all honesty. Or it could be worse. I don't know. Let's see if anyone else made, like, a Joltik Moridon deck. A lot of them are just, like, the same stuff here. Using Area 0 and whatnot. More Zekrom stuff there. Yeah, Zekrom's like a staple. I mean, I guess you just have hands, Moridon, Zekrom. This one doesn't have a Zekrom in it, though, but this one's plain... Oh, wait, did we go... Oh, okay, I think we went past Electric. All right, yeah, that's it. I think that's it for Electric. Went past the Electric decks here. It ends right here. So that was all the Moridon Electric decks. Again, I think this deck actually is going to be good. I know it didn't, like, make... like a great result at the Japan Championships, but I do think that Moridon Electric is actually going to be a decent archetype in our meta, especially because it is a deck that can abuse Iron Hands. It might be a better version of Joltik Box, right? Joltik Box is good, but it didn't really do as good at NEIC, and I think people are kind of on the point now that, like, Joltik Box is, like, kind of fallen off, but I do think that there is a good chance that we will see Joltik Box kind of fade away in favor of this more like turbo Moridon Eels deck. So we'll have to see on that one. But I think this deck is actually going to be very legit. Zekrom, hands, pretty good combination of cards to have access to. All right, then we got Jealent. So I wanted to see if anyone else was building Jealent without Gardevoir. But yeah, we do see one here playing it with Frostless. Good thing with Jealent is, right, it does have an ability where it's in the active spot. You get to item lock your opponent here, right? So it's a pretty strong ability. And then you have Power Press that can do 160 damage. You have 2 more energy on it. So you put a bunch of energy on your Jealent, you hit for 160, then you item lock the opponent. It's a pretty annoying card to play against. Like, don't underestimate the power of item lock, right? So playing it with Frostless is an interesting concept, because you can item lock them with the Jealent, and you can put on a bit of pressure here with the Frostless. It gives you more damage to work with. You do hit your own Jealent, but you get access to Monkey. So you can almost kind of play like Budu. You can just sit in the active spot, item lock them. Sometimes you might not even need to use the Jealent right away. You can even poke for 80 damage while you're just slowing down your opponent and spreading all this damage around with Monkey Frostless. So that seems good, because it's like a stronger Budu. I mean, you just have this big item lock wall in the active spot, right? It may not be doing as much damage as it could be, but it still does stuff. And then we got another Guardy build. I'm just going to skip past the Guardy variants of Jealent here. Surely there's more than just Gardevoir. Yeah, there's another Frostless build here. I guess one thing you could play with Jealent is the new triple energy card. Jealent does require, 4 energy to do 160 damage. So I feel like if you're going to play Jealent without Guardy, honestly, playing it with triple energy seems like a cool idea, because then you can attack with it out of nowhere. You can put, like, a Psychic and a Call Sign on it, test triple energy, and then out of nowhere hit for 160. It gives you, like, a nice burst of damage. So I'm surprised none of them are playing that. Let's see if there's any other Jealents. They're all Gardevoir, bro. Oh my gosh, Gardevoir, what have you done? All right, here's a cool one. We got Metagross with Jealent. Actually, one thing to note about Metagross EX, too, it does gain the new Genesect EX, which is actually pretty good. You can use Genesect EX to find the Stevens Metagross a lot more easily. It's actually a really interesting concept. So Genesect does upgrade Metagross EX, it looks like, too. And then, yeah, you can play Jealent in the deck. You can actually build up the Jealent with double Metagross. I think you just go double Metagross for a Metal Psychic, or whatever the case may be. Build it up, and then you can hit for 160 out of nowhere. So Jealent could make Stevens Metagross even better. Is this just worse? Guardy, though, in a way, probably. But it's cool that we got Genesect EX now for the Metagross decks. You can use Genesect to find your Stevens Metagrosses and Metangs a bit easier now. It's actually pretty cool. It's a nice little upgrade for the deck for sure. More Gardevoir. Another Metagross build here. Let's go. This one's got Archaludon and Genesect in the deck. So it's got even more going on here. No Monkey Dory like the other build had, which I kind of like, and no Clefairy. I feel like if you're going to play the deck, though, you probably want to play Clefairy, but it's cool. Like I said, that Metagross gets stronger. All right, this one's got Jellicent in the Armor Rouge Ho-Oh Toolbox deck. So yeah, Ho-Oh Toolbox, another archetype that does get an upgrade. It does gain Prism Energy, which is actually really big for the deck. If you don't know what Prism Energy does, this card is a reprint from Next Destinies. When it's attached to basic Pokemon, it provides every type of energy, but only one energy at a time. So it's a Rainbow Energy, basically, for basic Pokemon. It's better than Luminous Energy, because it can stack, I think. You can put multiple on, which is really, really good. It's a very good upgrade to Ho-Oh Armor Rouge, because now you don't have to play Luminous Energy, or you can play both Luminous and Prism, so now you have even more Rainbow Energies to work with. So when you're trying to find your Rainbow Energies, you have more now. I guess the one thing in this build doesn't play Iron Hands, but it is trying to lean more into the idea of playing Jellicent within the Ho-Oh deck to, like, item lock and slow down the opponent. While you kind of like have Wellspring in the deck still. You have Monkey Dory in there. Yeah, it's a cool idea to play within Ho-Oh Toolbox. I don't hate it. You can put a lot of energy on it. You can build up its attack actually fairly easily with Ho-Oh and Armor Rouge. You can put a bunch of energy down quickly with Ho-Oh and then move it with the Armor Rouge to the Jellicent. We got an interesting Hydreigon Jellicent deck here. So I guess you sit behind the Jellicent while you build up Hydreigon with like Turbo Energize and stuff. That's an interesting idea. Hey, I'm always down to make Hydreigon EX work, man. It doesn't play the new Hydreigon, but again, I think we'll see some more soon. It was cool. Another Hydreigon Jellicent deck here. This one does have a Zoroark EX in the deck. So yeah, it plays the Turbo Energizes. Plays, what, 2 of them here? Try to use the Turbo Energize to build up your Hydreigon. Well, you sit behind an item locking wall, but you can still attack with Jellicent. It kind of reminds me a bit of like Iron Thorns EX in that regards. You slow down your opponent while you build up your Hydreigon. There's another build here playing it with Xatu. So yeah, I don't hate it. It does play Crushing Hammer and Devo, so it's trying to be a little bit more annoying. It's got like Watchtower, Hammer, Devo. Even playing the Gastrodon in the deck that shuts off Stage 2 abilities on the bench. So you can shut off stuff like Gardevoir and whatnot, which is an interesting idea. You can even shut off Grimmsnarl. Would that actually matter if Grimmsnarl's on the bench? I actually don't know the ruling on that, but yeah, that's kind of cool. Jellicent with Hammers could be annoying. Another Froslass variant here. Another Froslass build. Playing with this Pathra. And yeah, see, there's the triple energy. See, I like the idea of triple energy in Jellicent. You attach triple energy to your Jellicent, right? And then it provides 3 colorless energy for the turn. You do the discarded after with the... You have to discard it, but it still works out. Yeah, playing it with Espathra is cool. You just have these, like, 2 annoying wall-type Pokemon with the Espathra and then the Jellicent. Item locking that make them provide more energy to attack could be an annoying duo for sure. Yo, a Poison... Wait. Yeah, Poison Jellicent deck. Now, that's an interesting idea. Kind of reminds me of, like, Poison Bayonet a little bit. That's an interesting way to play Jellicent, too. See, there's a lot of ways you can play Jellicent outside of playing within Gardevoir. I like the creativity here. An Alakazam Jellicent deck seems ideal, actually, too. So you can sit, item lock him in the active spot with Jellicent while you sit behind Alakazam. That seems really good, actually. I'm really excited to try that out. I haven't played an Alakazam EX deck in a while, and I think we're due to revisit Alakazam. And yeah, I guess pairing it with Jellicent kind of works out, actually. I kind of like that. Jellicent with Ghosts. All right, a more, like, aggressive approach to Jellicent here. You can blow up their board while they're under item lock. I mean, they're item locked. They're not setting up their board as easily anyways. So you can sit there and nuke them with the Dusknoirs while you just, beat them down with Jellicent. That's not bad either. Another Froslass build. More Guardy. All right, that's it for the Jellicent decks. All right, a lot more creativity than I thought with Jellicent there. We had, like, Froslass, Dusknoir, Alakazam, Hydreigon, Poison build of Jellicent. That's really cool. So, yeah, I'm definitely excited to try out the Jellicent piles soon. All right, let's look at Reshiram. So, we did already see a bit of Reshiram here in the Ho-Oh deck, and that might be the main way to play it. I don't know if we're actually going to see any Emboar decks. Emboar, Inferno, Fandango, Rain Dance for Fire Pokemon is coming back from the set, but I don't know if we're actually going to see any Emboar. Hopefully we do, though. If you don't know what Reshiram EX does here, it's basically just the fire version of Zekrom. Has the same attack, right? Does 130 plus 15 more damage for each prize your opponent's taken. Instead of doing 30 to yourself like the Zekrom does, you just discard an energy, which isn't really that big of a deal. So the Reshiram seems to be a pretty good upgrade here to the Ho-Oh Toolbox deck as a nice late-game attacker. It gives you like a mini version of Charizard to have. So now you have an even heavier hitter in the late game to work with now, which actually seems a lot more scarier now than normal, to be honest with you, because like you can go amp early on, and then when your opponent starts taking prizes, you can swing with Reshiram. Actually kind of scary, not going to lie. There's one here playing it in Blaziken. I don't mind the idea of playing it in Blaziken, too. You can obviously build it up with the fire energy you already have in the deck. That seems like a cool way to play the Reshiram also within Blaziken. I like that. And it gives you a better heavy hitter. One thing that the Blaziken deck kind of lacks is, like, damage output. I mean, you have the monkeys. The baby Blaziken is cool. But you don't really have a way to do, like, big damage. But, yeah, the idea of Reshiram in the deck does give the deck the ability to do big damage. Another build here. Pidgeot using it with the Reshiram. Reshiram going into the Ho-Oh deck. I don't know if we're going to see any Emboar. Not looking great at the moment. I feel like we would have seen one by now. I guess because Emboar's a stage 2. Yeah, just more Ho-Oh variants of the deck. There's a lot of ways to build Ho-Oh. We got another Blaziken Pidgeot deck here with the Reshiram in there. There's another Ho-Oh Armor Rouge Jealent deck playing the Reshiram also. Another one here. Yeah, it's all just the Ho-Oh decks, and then a bit of Blaziken, it looks like here. Oh, there's a different one. We got a Charizard EX Ho-Oh Armor Rouge deck. That's an interesting idea. Huh. It's even playing the 151 Charizard in the deck, actually, which we haven't really ever seen before. It does 330 damage for 4 fires. It's actually not bad. Could be good within Ho-Oh Armor Rouge, too. Maybe there's something to it. Yeah, just a bunch of Ho-Oh decks. No Emboar. I'm surprised to not see any Emboar. Yeah, it's all Ho-Oh. All Ho-Oh toolbox. And more Blaziken, too. All right, here we go. We got Emboar, finally. It's the last one here. It was official Pokemon card channel creation. But yeah, we do see Emboar box here. I don't know if this deck will be good. It might just be worse than Ho-Oh Armor Rouge. Maybe it's just better to play the Ho-Oh deck because you're not playing the Stage 2 line, right? It's the thing with Emboar. It's a Stage 2. But I want to see Emboar work, man. It's cool. We got a decent little Fire toolbox deck here with Gouging Fire, Hearth Flame Mask. Iron Hands is even in the deck. You can play Iron Hands, too, like you're playing in Shempow. Then, yeah, you have the Reshiram in the deck. And that's it for the Reshiram deck. So it looks like Reshiram is going to be a good upgrade to Ho-Oh Armor Rouge. I mean, honestly, that one new card could make that deck even better. I mean, Ho-Oh Armor Rouge gets a pretty big buff, I feel like, with this set. With the addition of Prism Energy and the Reshiram EX as a nice late-game attacker, it seems kind of scary. All right, Superior. Let's see. So yeah, Superior, if you don't know what it does have an ability where attacks used by your Pokemon get to do 20 more damage for their active. It does stack, too. And then you got Grass Order that does 150 damage. You can search deck for up to 3 energies and put them into your hand. It's a pretty good attack and a pretty good ability. And then we can see here, it's a decent upgrade to Grass decks, mainly playing it in the Yanmega EX deck to make Yanmega do more damage. Superior does require a lot of energy to attack, but you can see here, Triple Energy, Ignition Energy, I should say. I keep calling it Triple Energy. Ignition Energy does provide Superior's attack cost pretty easily, which is nice. You can attack with it. And then, yeah, it's attack gets you 3 cards out of your deck. That's pretty cool. Another build here, playing it with the Dunsparce. Just by itself, no Yanmegas or anything, no other grass Pokemon. Using Grand Tree to get the Superior out a lot quicker. It is a Stage 2 at the end of the day. Another build, playing it with Yanmega. And has Lilligant in there for even more damage. So you have the Superior and the Lilligant to boost Yanmega's damage. Honestly, not bad. You can make Yanmega actually hit pretty hard. I mean, with like 2 Superiors and a Lilligant, that's 60 damage. That's 270 damage. Yanmega's swinging out of nowhere. Then we got just Superior and Lilligant, just raw damage. Playing a lot of Ignition Energy here to make your Superior hit even harder. You got Bug Catching Set, also is a pretty good support option for these pure grass decks. Interesting enough, though, it is playing the Deluxe Bomb in the deck. Don't know if it fixes much math, but the Crisis Punch is a cool idea. It does work well with Ignition Energy, actually, right? And then also Crisis Punch with Superior and Lilligant technically would make your Pokemon hit even harder, so you can do more than the 280 damage that the Crisis Punch does. That's a cool concept for sure. Not a lot of Superior decks, but still, the idea is really cool. And yeah, just playing with the Omega, I think makes most amount of sense. All right, Meloetta. So what if people cooked up with Meloetta here? So we got Meloetta EX. So I guess we should read what Meloetta EX does first. So Meloetta EX is interesting. It is a Donker here. It's got that live debut ability. If you go first, this Pokemon can attack on your first turn, and then it's got Echoed Voice that is 30 plus, and then next turn it could do 80 more damage. So ideally, like if your opponent starts with like a Budew, right? You go first, you just donk it, which is kind of cool. Knock out Budew. If they start Dreepy, you can go Vitality Band, Clefairy knockout. There you go. So yeah, we'll see what people cooked up from Meloetta. The main thing is its ability. It actually lets you play Technical Machines, which is kind of cool. So, oh, no, not Hydroen. So yeah, we got one here playing in Zacian. Just more of a donk deck with the Zacian and the Iron Valiant, the Meloetta. You can use Iron Valiant to also then technically make Meloetta donk even easier too. So that's an interesting idea. So this turn 1 donk deck might be pretty good. I mean, is it better than playing the Petron donk deck? I'm not sure. And we got Meloetta within Dragapult. Once again, playing the TM Evos. Yeah, the idea of the deck is you use the TM Evo. You go Meloetta attached turn 1, double TM Evo. You can TM Evo, and you can get out turn 1 Dracloak. So you can already have Dracloak in play by your second turn. Is it more efficient than just like evolving them, obviously? I don't know, but it's cool. You can do that regardless. Another build here, playing it in Dragapult, playing the Town Store. So trying to capitalize on that turn 1 TM Evo. I mean, it's better to get your board set up quickly, right, than not quickly. All right, we got Meloetta Donk here with the Brute Bonnet. This also seems decent because you can use Brute Bonnet and Binding Mochi to give your Meloetta more damage. Now the Meloetta can do 70 damage turn 1 pretty easily. Is it better than just using Petron, though? I don't know, because Petron technically does more damage because you also get Perilous Jungle. I think Petron's ability does more damage than the Meloetta would do anyway, so it might be more efficient to use Petron in that regards, but I mean, you can still be aggressive here with the Meloetta. Place the Clefairy. The Clefairy, I mean, this deck can actually play like a real deck. This isn't even like a donk deck. This is actually like a real deck. You have like Blood Moon, Clefairy. Like, you're actually trying to attack with the Meloetta. You got the Venture Bombs for more damage. This is like a real deck. It's not just a donk deck. Like, it can donk, but it's not just trying to donk. Another deck here, using it with Teal Mask, Ogre Pawn, and stuff. See, you have the ability to go for those Turn Donks with the Petron Brew Bonnet, Meoetta combo, but you do have other attackers like the Meoetta, can still be used at, any point in the game to take early pressure knockouts. It's got the Teal Mask as a grass attacker to have against Zard and Grimmsnarl. You got Cramorant and Clefairies in there and stuff. Got Meoetta. I think we saw this deck already with the electric deck. Yeah, another TM Evo Dragapult build, another Dragapult build. And we got another build here, playing it with the Amoonguss. I think the Amoonguss does like 130 or 120 damage if your opponent's active is affected by a special condition. Is that coming out in the set? Is there a proxy of it? There's no proxy of it. Okay, I'm pretty sure it just does something like that. And we got another Poison variant here. So yeah, Poison Meoetta seems kind of decent actually, because like Meoetta is not a bad attacker, and if you play against Dragapult, you have the Clefairy, so like even in the mid to late game, if they get the Dragapult out, you can still hit it fairly hard. You got Venture Bomb, Monkey Dory for more damage and stuff. Seems pretty good. Prism Energy is also a good upgrade to Monkey Dory, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Yeah, Prism Energy, Monkey Dory is also a pretty deadly combo. All right, let's look at some Hydreigon decks here. So we already seen some of them. Hydreigon Dragapult, I gotta try that out for a video. That seems pretty cool. But yeah, Hydreigon Pidgeot, this is the classic build. Hydreigon Flareon is another deck I do want to try out too. But then yeah, we got the Hydreigon Jealent deck here. The Hydreigon Zork deck. We did see these two decks already, but yeah, here we go. We got this brand new Hydreigon variant here, playing both Hydreigon EXs. So this Hydreigon EX does have that ability, Greedy Eater. If your opponent's basic Pokemon gets knocked out by damage from its attack, you take one more prize card, and then, yeah, needs 5 energy, does 200 damage, and then during your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. So it's not the greatest attack ever. It does need way too many energy, but the ability is what makes it strong. It's like you get a free Ampy very much. So you get like free Amp in your Hydreigon EX deck. So if you actually get it out, it's worth using. It does need a lot of energy though, so you do have to build it up. But yeah, we see a Hydreigon Frostlass deck. I've done a video on this deck before. It's really cool. And then yeah, you get Hydreigon Frostlass with the other Hydreigon EX here in the deck for that little bit of extra oomph. But yeah, it doesn't need a lot of energy. You do have triple energy, I guess, which you can use to build it up. You can go like, if you can somehow get 3 Darkon, you can use like the triple energy to build it up, I guess. There's that. I guess you can use like Turbo Energize maybe to build it up, but this one doesn't play it. And we got another Hydreigon Pidgeot playing the new Hydreigon. Like, you might as well. Like, if you're going to play the old Hydreigon, you might as well play the new Hydreigon in the deck, too. Also, one thing to note, it's got the TM Technical Machines in the deck. So you can use Crisis Punch with Hydreigon EX. Maybe that's just better. Actually, yeah, maybe. Okay, actually, I just realized. So maybe in these two archetypes, you're not trying to use Hydreigon's other attack, like its main attack. It's too expensive. I think the idea is you're actually trying to lean into Crisis Punch or Blindside. That's actually really interesting. So you're trying to use Hydreigon EX with Blindside. So, because Blindside works with the ability. You can go Blindside, hit something for 100, knock it out, and take 2 prizes. Okay, I get it now. That's actually pretty strong. You can go like Monkey Dory. You can knock out monkeys with that. You can go Monkey Dory to the Monkey Dory, and then you can knock out the Monkey Dory for 2 prizes. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's actually good. And then you get the Crisis Punch. So that's just, yeah, that makes more sense, actually. That just seems better than playing it. Yeah, okay, that's actually kind of good. Okay, wow. So yeah, the idea of playing this Hydreigon EX with the Crisis Punch is actually starting to blow my mind now. I'm not going to lie. And the blind side is actually blowing my mind. That seems way more efficient, obviously, than building up its actual attack. I mean, its attack isn't even that bad. Just 5 energy, though, is egregious. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So yeah, the Hydreigon EX deck gets even better now because of the 1-prize Hydreigon. Because now you have this 1-prizer that can take little prizes. That's going to be a lot better into Gardevoir, I think, specifically, which is really cool. I like that a lot, actually. Is that it for the Hydreigon EX decks? No? Or the new Hydreigon decks, I should say. Hydreigon Espeon's an interesting idea. And yeah, we got another one here, the Pidgeot Hydreigon deck. This one doesn't play the TM, so this one doesn't have the TM technology. It's got the Neo Upper, so you can still go like Neo Upper Crispin. You can still build up that attack. It does require a lot. You can go like, I guess you can go Crispin, Neo Upper, counter gain. You have to wait another turn still to power it up. That's just a lot of energy, man. It's more than Obsidian, which is crazy. And it's a worse attack than Obsidian. You could play the Hydreigon with Blaziken too, I guess. I've wanted to try Hydreigon Blaziken for a bit now too, by the way, for a YouTube video. I just never got around to doing it. Is that it for the Hydreigon EX decks? These are all just like older Hydreigon decks, looks like. Yeah, I don't see any more new Hydreigon stuff. Still, though, that kind of blew my mind. The idea of playing this with Blindside actually makes a lot of sense. Because, like, yeah, you're never really building up the other attack. You can just use Ignition Energy with Pidgeot and Blindside. You go like Arven for Blindside or Crisis Punch, whatever point in the game you already use Crisis Punch. You get like Blindside with the Arven, and then you can attach the Blindside to the Hydreigon, and then you can triple energy to it with Quick Search, and then you can start attacking and taking extra prizes. That seems really good, actually. Wow. So yeah, Hydrogen EX might get a bit of an upgrade now, because now you can kill a lot of basics with like Obsidian and stuff, put on pressure with Crushing Headbutt, and then you also get the new Hydrogen EX with the TMs and the Ignition Energy. That's really interesting. That's a very interesting concept. That makes this Hydrogen EX a lot better than I expected it to be, which is kind of cool. This gives me more hope, because I thought this card was like fine, as somebody who's a giant Hydrogen fan, but it actually seems even better now. Wow, that kind of blew my mind. I'm not gonna lie; those ideas did blow my mind there, for sure. Yeah, the Frostlass and the Pidgeot builds actually make a lot of sense now in hindsight. Just Splash and Sky in your Hydrogen EX Pidgeot deck with those TMs seems pretty good. And there you go, folks. I think that's it for these new archetypes here. There might be other stuff we can look at some other point here on the channel. I do now want to do a video where we look at older decks and how they get upgraded. Just a bit of a guide video showing off what old decks get better with Black Bolt and White Flare. Because I do feel like there's enough new cards where, like, older cards are going to get a lot better, but also older archetypes get a lot better. And that's one of the main themes, I think, with this set, is like old archetypes are getting an upgrade. There's some new stuff like Jealent EX can be, it's maybe an archetype, and obviously we have like the Superior and the Meoetta, but like for the most part, it does feel like old decks get better with Black Bolt and White Flare. That's probably going to be the next video here on the channel, looking at, or just talking about what old stuff gets better with this new set. But yeah, really cool stuff. I'm excited for Black Bolt, White Flare to come out. It comes out in less than a month, so we're getting close, man, so I'm pretty excited to try out all these new cards, especially that Hydrogen stuff. That got me hyped. I'm still kind of hyped on that, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll leave a link to Pokeka Book down below, the site I'm using to look at the deck list if you want to go look at any of them for yourself, build any of them for when Black Bolt, White Flare drops. Yeah, hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, once again, sub down below. We're getting very close to 24K subs here on the channel. Cool stuff, and hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see y'all in another video here very soon. Bye-bye.